Good morning, y'all. I'm Jan. I think today it's time for some fried chicken. Now, these are still slightly frozen. They're almost thawed, but they got a little bit of ice on them, and that's all right. I need to get these soaking in their brine because they need to soak an hour. I'm going to let them soak for 2 to 3 hours. It's pretty early in the morning. So, first thing I'm going to do, and these are just drumsticks, very large drumsticks. Salt. That's it. Pepper. Don't need to let it, put a lot of any of this now because we'll be adding it all later. So, okay. So for their brine, buttermilk is a must if you want these to taste delicious. That's probably too much, but that's all right. I mean, it's only 4 pieces of chicken, so I don't need a ton. And then here, I have a half a cup of pickle juice. Now, the reason it's in this is because these are my own homemade pickles, and y'all already knew I was going to spill it everywhere trying to pour it into a measuring cup, which I did, which is why I did it before I turned the camera on. Ooh, Lord. Let's give this a stir. I hope y'all like fried chicken. Okay. I got a big gallon-sized bag. I probably don't need a gallon-sized bag, but these will not fit in a quart bag. I tried. So we're going to put them in the bag. Plate. I sure hope y'all can see this. I don't think the light makes any difference, but okay. Buttermilk brine right into the bag. Now, let's get the air out and shut this bag. Okay. See all that yummy buttermilk? Make sure that's sealed. Yes. Okay. Make sure those are covered very well. I want one of the pieces of chicken sticking out with the brine on it. This is really much easier to do if you have a really big bucket, which I don't, but again, it's only 4 pieces of chicken. Okay. I'm going to take our plate here. I'm going to sit this in the refrigerator, and every 30 minutes, I'm going to flip it over. flip it over to make sure, both sides are getting well soaked and coated. And I'm going to do this about 4 times over the next 2 hours. And then we're going to fry this deliciousness up. I'll be back. Okay, y'all. Our chicken has been soaking in this buttermilk for about 3 hours. Now, we'll get it out. I'm just going to sit it on a plate. Not drying it off, not doing any of that. Just going to sit it on the plate. I want this to come up to room temp just a bit. Now then, I'm going to go pour this out my back door, and I'll be back. Okay, y'all. While our chicken is sitting over there, coming up to room temp, we need to work on our flour. Just get, any of the lumps out. You can do this in a shallow dish. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now I'm going to be exact. Well, almost exact on my measurements for this, just in case y'all need to know. Let me put it this way. What I'm going to put in here, if you're cooking, say, an entire chicken, which would be about 8 pieces of chicken, cut up yourself, you're going to use double of what I'm about to put in here for these 4 pieces. So, I just want to make that note ahead of time. I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne, not going too crazy with it. Just a little bit of a kick on the crust is all I want. Salt. I'm going to add an entire teaspoon. Now this is a half a teaspoon. Make sure that's a half a teaspoon. Yes, that's a half teaspoon. So we're going to put a whole teaspoon of salt. Okay. Garlic powder, half teaspoon. Spill it everywhere, Jan. There you go. Onion powder, I'm putting a whole teaspoon. Again, I mean, this is to taste, but I highly recommend using some decent amount of seasonings. Smoked paprika. Gonna put a teaspoon. And black pepper, we're gonna put a half a teaspoon. And I'm only putting a half teaspoon because I added that cayenne powder. I don't want it so hot, I can't eat it. Now then, I'm going to whisk this all up. Now I'm going to grab another plate. We're going to dredge our chicken in it, and we're going to let our chicken sit on that plate for 5 or 10 minutes while the oil heats up. Okay. I'll take a piece of chicken. My hands are clean, by the way. I just washed them. Cover it in flour. Now, you don't have to fry this. You can also put it in the oven and bake it 350 for about 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes. But if you go over 40 minutes, you're going to have dry, not good chicken. Shake whatever excess off. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Okay. Here's our other piece. Our next piece, rather. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, I can't wait for this. telling y'all, all fried chicken is not the same. I highly recommend you do the buttermilk. In fact, you can actually soak your chicken in the buttermilk brine overnight, or up to 24 hours. 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, overnight, whatever. I wouldn't do it longer than that. Okay. Oh, and also, if you do not have buttermilk, you can easily make some. Take 2 cups of regular milk and either add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. It gives you the same result. Well, I know a lot of people are even having problems finding buttermilk. So if you don't have buttermilk on the regular and you don't want to run out and get any, 2 cups of milk, 2 tablespoons lemon juice, or distilled white vinegar. Okay, I'll be right back. You want a deep frying pan to fry your chicken. I don't know if y'all can see how tall this is. It's about 3 or 4 inches deep. And you only want to, now for me, because I'm only frying drumsticks or legs, you see where I brought it up 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches, because we're going to flip the chicken anyway. But this will also help, oil from splattering all over your stove. But this needs to be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a thermometer, I recommend using it, but you just want to make sure it gets really hot. If you see that it's starting to smoke more than like a little wisp every once in a while, then it's too hot. You need to turn it down. But no matter what, the temperature is going to drop once you put your chicken in anyway. This is also why I have my chicken sitting out on the counter for 15, 20 minutes, trying to get it to come down to room temp. Never ever put cold chicken fresh out of the refrigerator into grease. You're probably going to get hurt if you do. It's going to pop and explode in your face, and that's never good. So always, 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 and I should have already told you this, always get your chicken out and let it sit on the counter for, 10, 20 minutes. I mean, up to 30 minutes. I wouldn't leave it any longer than that, but let your chicken warm up just a slight bit before it goes into your grease. Okay, be right back. Ready to fry some chicken? Okay. Now I know this grease is very hot. Always, drop the chicken back away from you. Never ever turn it towards you. There we go. Just let it slide down. Put that one right here. Drop it right there. And then our 4th one here, we're going to put it right there and let go. Minimum 10 minutes per side. When you put your chicken in this hot grease, do not touch it. Do not touch it, do not touch it, do not touch it. If you start messing around with this, every bit of your flour, which will be your fried chicken, is going to come off. 10 minutes minimum, up to 15 minutes. Now, as you can see, this chicken is actually mostly covered. So I may actually let it sit here for, I'll probably let it sit and fry for at least 15 minutes, and then I'll flip it over for like 10 minutes at the most. It takes anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to fry chicken. But anything more than 30 minutes, you're probably going to have some really dry, not very good chicken. And do not cover it. I see people on YouTube covering their chicken. Don't do that. Let it fry, because you steam it. And if you steam your chicken by putting a cover on there, it ain't going to taste good either, and it's going to be dry. So that's why I said, y'all saw how much grease I put in there, which is not a lot. And you see, even though the chicken made the grease come up, it's not shooting out all over the place because we still got plenty of room. So like I said, I highly recommend you get a very deep frying pan, or like I said, you can actually make fried chicken in the oven the exact way I make my chicken tenders. If y'all want to go find my chicken tender video, do your drumsticks or whatever kind of chicken the exact same way, only you want to leave it in that oven anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, I'll be back when it's time to flip these over. Here we go, y'all. Woo, no, don't fall back in there. You want to put them on some kind of rack with some paper towel underneath. I don't recommend them sitting on just a plate because they're just going to get greasy and soggy. So if you've got, any kind of rack, you can sit them on to let the grease, fall out from under them, as opposed to them, sitting in the grease. Now then, these need to sit here for at least 10 minutes before we dig in. Let the juices redistribute in the chicken. If you bite into one right now, like, all your juice is going to run out and then the rest of it's going to be dry. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. And here it is, y'all. My Sunday dinner. Our delicious fried chicken. A homemade mashed potatoes, sort of. Mashed and baked, kind of. With sour cream, butter, cheese, salt, pepper, and bacon. And then our baked beans with onion, bell pepper, and ground beef. You haven't had baked beans until you had these. And you'll hear all about these on the next video. Come on, girl. Now, I think I got a little bit of everything. Woo! Hot, hot, hot. Oh. That is so good. Still hot, Jan. Oh. I don't know if you can hear how hard that is. Perfectly fried. Hot. Alright, I'm gonna cheat, y'all. It's too hot. And it's been sitting here for 10 minutes. Now then. Oh my heavens. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't eat a lot of fried chicken. One, because it's fried. Two, because unless I make it myself, I'm just really picky about fried chicken. Not everybody knows how to make it. And I'm not being mean, I'm just saying a lot of people don't season their chicken. They might put a little bit of salt and pepper, but it's bland. I gotta have seasoning. And my opinion, you can't beat that buttermilk brine. Oh my God. I can tell y'all what, I'm about to make myself miserable. And it's going to be worth it. Nothing tops a homemade meal. And I mean nothing. Y'all, make you some homemade fried chicken. If you don't want to do the buttermilk, you can always put it in a, big tub or something, and put water and salt and leave it overnight and let it brine like that. It will at least give some flavor to the meat, throughout, as opposed to only the crust of it being flavored. I guess that's what I was alluding to. I like the actual chicken itself to have some flavor to it. And that buttermilk really does the trick. Not to mention all the seasonings we put in there. Okay, I'm going to stuff my face. Thank y'all for watching. Bye-bye.